welcome back. We're excited to talk to our next guest, who is a systems administrator and IT specialist. He also owns a media and ICT company that's raising the next generation of content creators. And as if that's not enough, he's also a shutterbug who's made a name for himself as a photographer in the United States when he was participating in the Mandela Washington Fellowship. That is Romanus KANYANGA. He's here in studio with us. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your trip overseas, first of all, to the States. I'm sure your first time there, and what was the experience like?
Honestly speaking, it was my first time to ever, go into the whole airplane, go through the checking in and everything. So this was my first time ever. Going there, it was quite challenging because you have to get used to the system. So you don't know when to go get boarded. And what happened to me was in Atlanta, they couldn't find my bag. So they lost my bag. So that was one of the things, and to get used to the whole thing of the other side, you lose your bag, everything's in there. So for a week and a half, I didn't have a bag. They told me my bag never left Namibia, but then after 2 weeks or so, I got my bag. But it was a good experience. You know, I met a lot of amazing people on my way there. One of the fellows that I didn't know he was going to be my roommate at the end of the time, he was the one who I met at the airport, and he actually took me through the whole thing. Awesome. You know, we met new people, you know, made new connections, and now I understand how the whole flying system works, so it was quite a good experience. And
I think you had a very common experience with luggage getting lost by the time you get to your destination.
There was one girl from Uganda as well. She lost her bag indefinitely. She never found it. So shame. I was still lucky to get one.
Listen, what caught our attention was the fact that, of course, you're on this Mandela Washington Fellow, and you took the opportunity to also enhance and heighten your photography skills. And you made one of your subjects wear your mother's clothes.
Yes.
And took pictures of them. Tell us all about that. How did that happen? Why did that happen?
Okay, I actually went for the fellowship. This was something that I did in the weekend when I was off, because, you know, you don't really have a lot of time to travel and communicate. So before I came, I reached out to a photographer in Chicago. She's actually a Namibian. And I tried to get hold of her, but I couldn't. But that week she responded. So when I went there on the fellowship, I met one of my mentors, said, like, you know what, there's an amazing photography media company that I want to link you up so that I can go there and learn about, you know, street photography, cinematic photography, how to do editing, and how to, like, actually the key thing was how can I get my photos to make money for me? How can I copyright my photos? So they showed me all of that, which was also another amazing thing, apart from what I went to go do. So when I got there, you know, I had my mom's, you know, I'm a proud Damara boy, so I had my shirt on, and then one of the models were like, you know, I like the shirt. Where did you get it? I was like, no, my mom made it for me. It's from Namibia. But I didn't know he's one of the biggest fashion designers and models and whatever. I didn't know. So we got introduced, and I met this Namibian friend of mine, and then she's like, you know what, I know the guy. You know, I can talk to him if you like, since you're saying you want to experience what you have learned, because I've learned about the skills now. I want to practically do it while I'm in Chicago. Come on, it's Chicago. It's a big city. And then he was like, you know, fine, he doesn't have a problem. Since I'm going to give him the shirt, he can do it for free, because he gets paid to take pictures of him. That's like 1,200 US, which is quite a lot of money. So we started working, we started taking pictures. While I was busy with him, his agent actually came. And then that's when the whole thing of, you know, they want to collaborate with Namibian fashion designers, they want to collaborate with, you know, authentic wear from Namibia. And at the photo shoot, I not only promoted my mom's stuff of my two friends of mine. They own local brands called Milk and Honey and Gevaarlijk. So I also had an opportunity for him to wear those clothes and for him to, you know, market them. And to be honest, we think that people of America think we don't have quality. You know, when they touch the material, they touch the texture, they were even impressed. And to be honest, I went with my stuff there, and I came back without anything. So they took everything. They even bought me a bag to put my stuff in. They took my shirt off my body, basically. So that is how it came about. So I just went there to learn, and then after learning, I had the opportunity to do the shoot, and then all this connection came about till a point where they want to come to Namibia and feature us, and then where they want to take Namibian stuff and want me to go back with them at Chicago Fashion Week.
I was just about to ask, with this experience and of course these great moments that you've taken away from in this workshop that you also were able to be a part of, how are you going to impart that to, you know, other young Namibians who also are interested in photography?
Yeah, first of all, you know, before I went there, why I actually went there is because I through my media company, I like to empower young people to show them how you can actually make a business out of media. I started off as a photographer. Now I own my own media company. That pays the bills. So I started an initiative called Media for All, where I want to take in young individuals. We take them through an apprenticeships for like 6 months. After the apprenticeship, we want to provide them with, equipment. For example, you're a videographer. We give you a camera, but not just a camera. We register a company for you, which is legal, so that you're operating from an office. So with the skills that I've learned, this will just enhance this project that I'm already wanting to start. And during my time on the other side, I was so fortunate enough to be able to enter in a pitch competition, and I was able to come second. So so it was some sort of money that is involved as well. So they are willing to fund my project for me to start this project off. So with the skills that I've learned, the experience that I have now, it's just to come back and just to offload, and to collaborate with other photographers, collaborate with young people, not only in my region, but all around Namibia. Because the idea of the concept is I want people in other regions to do the same that I'm doing. Another photographer from, let me say, Swakopmund, him to start the project. It's not like I want it to be my own thing. So I won't be able to, impact the whole of Namibia by myself. But if people can learn from me and start a similar concept in their own region, that is the idea of this. And then with the funding and the support that I have now, I believe I can reach to the other regions as well. But we will only be starting for now in the southern area. So I'll be focusing on Keetmanshoop, Marienthal, and Rehoboth. And then from next year, we're going to be branching out. But this is also key because of funding. So the more funding we get, we will start, making more workshops. We will start taking in more young individuals. We are focusing on girls, boys, and key thing is people with disabilities. You're in a wheelchair. It doesn't mean that you can be a photographer. You have one hand or something like that. It doesn't mean your disability doesn't allow you to be creative. So there is another type of people that I'm also branding into the disabilities, so that people can be confident to know that you can be a photographer. Because there are a lot of amazing photographers out there, that have.
Disability is so important.
Yeah,
2020.
it's key. Yeah, we have to change the narrative. We have to change.
You
the
mentioned
narrative.
something earlier about monetizing your photography skills, and that's very important. How do I make money out of course, this passion, but also this gift? And so what did you learn around that, how one can monetize your photography?
Okay, so let me just give you the basic concept. Photographers come from Europe to Namibia. They would take pictures of elephants, lions, pictures of landscapes. They would go overseas, they would have exhibitions. They would put it online, on their websites. If someone, for example, downloads that picture and use it for their own personal use, you can sue them. So you're allowed. You have to buy the content. We call it intellectual property monetizing. So it's basically, it's like when you upload your picture, you put a digital tag on it. With them, they have advanced technology. It's so easy to trace that someone is using another person's picture. So it's like you're putting a digital tag to your images. So for us to implement this, there are a few things that also need to get in place, because you need to register your company. It used to be registered. You have to have a trademark. You will see a little image at the bottom of your photos. We call it a trademark. So what happens is, for example, NBC wants to use my image. Maybe I took of young people playing around. They want to use it for a poster or what. They cannot just take it and print it and use it. I have the right to sue them. Right. So if you trademark and patent that image, if it's registered on your name, then no one can do anything with it. So what they were basically just doing is introducing the softwares that they use, the websites that we use for patenting these images, because a lot of us in Africa, we don't know about these things. So I cannot also take your picture and go put it on somewhere for my own use. You can sue me, but even if you come and sue me, you did not register it, you did not patent it, so it means that you cannot do anything. So through this training in this workshop, I was able to get these skills. It costs money, but at the end of the day, it benefits you as well. And I believe BIPA also allows you to register your company. If you're a creator, artistic creator, you can register. It's here. So people can consult BIPA. They have that where you can register your trademark. So we call it a trademark, yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We're out of time, but your social media handles, just so we can see if you're going to have any exhibitions coming up or whatever.
There will be a lot happening. Yeah. What I'm actually doing now is I'm sharing all of the information that I've learned on the other side. So if they follow me on Instagram, Romanus Tolo, they can follow my photography page, KANYANGA Photography, and then most of the long, intense sessions that I had will be on my YouTube, which is also KANYANGA Media. So if they go there, and they can always reach out. If there are people listening in, they want to connect with me, they want to share, because there's one thing that I've learned when we were there, is we all have a tagline, and I got my tagline is connecting people for a positive change.
Oh,
So that is my tagline. So that's why I want to connect people and then bring about positive change in Namibia. Yeah.
Romanus, thank you so much for your time this evening. Thank you for being here, and all the best with your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, that was our MCM this evening, and that wraps up today's edition of the Daily Roundup. We're back tomorrow, same time and place. From myself and the team, good night, and thank you for watching.